next fighter making his way to the cage, the thriller, Derion DC Chapman.
Welcome to Club Nokia at LA Live for the University of Mixed Martial Arts Fight Night 5. I'm Rich Slayton, joined by Andrew the Squid Montanez, here to call for you the U of MMA Lightweight Championship between AJ Lavarias and Derion DC Chapman. On his way to the cage right now is Chapman, the 26-year-old, with 4 wins and no losses out of the new, much heralded House of Champions in Van Nuys.
Yeah, I like this dude. He is the real deal. He's got a little crazy way to him, which I like. You know, fighters are very introverted and stuff, but he's not afraid, which I like. You know, he'll make a mistake, get out of it. He's like, he doesn't have a quit in him. Hey, he's really entertaining. Part of me kind of wants him to win because I hope when he gets the microphone, what he says after the fight is usually very interesting.
Not just entertaining after the fight, but entertaining during the fight. 4 wins, but unusual for an amateur, all 4 wins finishes. 3 technical knockouts and 1 submission. 3 of those fights coming here at the U.
Yeah, and that's the complete opposite of his opponent. His opponent's undefeated, but his opponent has never finished a fight in his career. That's
the really interesting story, that steel blanket heavy wrestling of AJ Lavarias versus the explosive finishing ability of Derion Chapman.
Yeah, it's a good style. You have a short, compact wrestler against a taller, longer, more of a mixed martial artist.
And DC, definitely a mixed martial artist, very well-rounded, crisp, technical striking. He jumps in, jumps out, controls distance very well. Good takedown defense, good submissions, good grappling. DC is the full package, and he's a young, talented, energetic fighter. Faced his stiffest opposition in the last fight, but tonight we'll see what he has here going for that championship belt.
And his opponent making his way to the cage, Iron AJ Lavarias.
Champion, 31-year-old wrestling extraordinaire, AJ Lavarias. 3 wins and no losses, all 3 wins decisions here at the University of Mixed Martial Arts. From Systems Training Center, trained by Coach Ian Harris. We've mentioned him many times in the show. Ian Harris, great at both training the physical and mental sides of his fighters. AJ Lavarias, while known for his wrestling here in the U, he's been a long-time instructor at Krav Maga Worldwide.
Yeah, and I think that Krav Maga, he's got a certain couple factors I think that really help him. Krav Maga, for sure. Number 2 is like the freaking Seattle Seahawks. And number 12, you see the 12th man on the field. He brings a lot of people with him, which helps. When it helps keep your spirit up, no quit. You don't want to let the people down in your crowd. And he's in great shape. He's got a phenomenal wrestling background, and he's pretty polished. I wouldn't say he's the most exciting fighter, but he gets the job done.
It's going to be a very interesting story here. So far, AJ's done a great job of using his striking game to set up his wrestling and then pressing tight, never letting go of his opponent. We have mentioned in the past, though, that he does sometimes put his head in dangerous positions. And against a guy who can finish so quickly like Derion Chapman, that could be an exciting factor tonight.
Well, yeah, he does put himself in bad positions. I've made a habit of saying it in some fights, so I'm sure he's watched it, and I'm sure he's going to watch this. I'm sure I'm speaking to him in the future right now, and he's going to be watching this. But, you know, that's a common wrestler thing anyway. Like, you can't get away from it. Certain habits, certain takedowns will lead you to bad positions, and you make do. You make best do.
Well, the 2 best guys at 155 will fight tonight for that U of MMA belt. Let's get things started with Salvador Arellano.
and gentlemen, here we go. This is our main event of the evening. Brought to you by bodybuilding.com. Scheduled for three-minute rounds for the University of Mixed Martial Arts lightweight 155-pound championship title. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a freestyle fighter. He comes to the cage with an impressive record of 4 wins and no losses. He stands at 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighing at 154.6 pounds. Representing the House of Champions from Reseda, California, the Thriller, Derion DC Chapman. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, a kickboxing and jiu-jitsu practitioner. He also brings a perfect record to the cage with 3 wins and no losses. He stands at 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing officially at 153.6 pounds. Fighting with the Systems Training Center from Seattle, Washington. He is the current, the defending U of MMA lightweight champion, Iron AJ Lavarias.
Gentlemen, this is the main event. We went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves, come out.
Man in charge of the action, George Gallegos.
U of MMA matchmaker Jay Tan taking the final moments to make this official. Our challenger, Derion Chapman of House of Champions in the blue corner. Our champion, Systems Training Center's AJ Lavarias in the red corner. Get ready, 2 undefeated fighters. One will leave with their first loss, the other with the belt. This is the U of MMA. It starts here. Powerful inside leg kick early from Lavarias, but Chapman returns by going high.
Doing a good job picking his shots and has a nice southpaw stance.
Fighters trading inside leg kicks. Lavarias, big overhand right, using, as we said before, to set up that wrestling game.
And that's definitely the best thing for him. He has a size advantage and stuff. If he can get on top, it could be trouble.
The big question now is, can Chapman get out of that sticky wrestling of our champion Lavarias?
He's close. It looks like Lavarias will try to do some sort of like pass to mount. He's got to be careful. When you try to do that and your head's on the outside, you can sometimes give up the gi and end up backing guard. He's doing a good job. He has to just get that head out of there, and he's kind of fine, and he does.
Lavarias now firmly inside control. This is what we'd expect to see from the champion, that very sticky top game. Chapman trying to walk the cage to create some leverage.
Doing a good job. You know, AJ not really damaging anything. If anything, he might be getting himself tired by driving pressure.
And Chapman does a good job replacing that half guard.
Yeah, now, you know, when you're back to a cage or in half guard, you can actually, you can cage walk and work your way up. There's a good chance he might cage walk right in front of us. But that's what AJ did. He took that away by pulling him off of the cage. But he's safe, you know. Darion's in a good spot because AJ needs to posture up to try to land some blows.
Well, that's where AJ loves to strike. He likes to stand up inside the guard and throw down blows on his grounded opponents.
And I think that's what he needs to do. I think that for him to get out of this fight sooner than later, do that. But we know the track record.
But the high guard of DC so far really helping him stay out of damage. AJ Lavarias is just so smothering with that wrestling attack. And now DC, fantastic reversal. DC Chapman in the mount. And here he goes, raining down punches. Lavarias back to his feet. DC now knees to the body.
Smashing him up. Getting some big shots.
We talked about that quick finishing ability of Chapman. You give him a moment, he will take it.
He's gonna get a trapped arm rear naked. This is the fight right here. This fight might be over. Oh, wow, he gets out of it. He almost had it,
and now a triangle attempt. Just as it looks like AJ Lavarias is writing the script the same as the 3 previous, Derion Chapman shows he has that ability to turn a fight at a moment's notice.
So, Rich, hypothetically, if you are a judge, how strong do you, that 20 seconds of Chapman damage, how strong do you put that into factor compared to Lavarias laying on top the whole round? What is the deciding factor in what wins the round? Is it Derion almost finishing with some punches, land some knees, and putting the rear naked, or the lay and pray tactics of Lavarias?
You know, this is one of the really tough parts about mixed martial arts scoring. How do you weigh those two things? But for the 3-minute round, the gross majority of it was controlled by the wrestling of Lavarias. I think that the big thing that Chapman putting him in those positions does, and this is unique to amateur fights here in California, is it takes this round from a 1-point win for Lavarias to a half-point win. And it keeps Chapman right in the game.
Oh, Chapman right there. He's owning the striking and had a very nice sweep reversal, landed some big shots, got some knees on the feet, and locked up a submission, ended the round with the submission. I wouldn't hate on a judge for giving the round to Chapman or calling it an even round.
An even round might actually be the best way to decide that.
That's how I see it.
Chapman, double jab. Now there we go, Chapman coming forward, Lavarias back to those wrestling instincts, gets tagged a little bit, ducks right under.
He's in a better spot now than he was earlier. He could possibly get the guard. And see, Lavarias is making sure that doesn't happen. He's going to try to keep himself away from the legs and keep Chapman's legs away from his. But doing what he does is actually going to give him back guard. And it does.
Lavarias throwing some blows here, but Chapman evading nicely.
Lavarias tends to do that sometimes when he'll get a really good position and stand up, and then he'll jump. He ends up getting back to a worse position, puts himself back in the guard when he didn't have to maybe posture up that way.
Well, we talked about that earlier. The stifling wrestling of Lavarias mixed with that he does put himself in some troubling positions. And now you see, we have Derion Chapman searching for an armbar, potentially getting a hold of that right arm of AJ Lavarias.
And he's extending. You know, Lavarias needs to focus on defending rather than kneeing the body, because he's going to do. If you guys have seen, I think in 2011, he has fought Evangelista Cyborg from Strikeforce Welterweight Championship, and he did a very similar armbar where he pops his head out to the side and finishes it.
Well, Chapman finally lets it go. He had it pretty deep in there, but Lavarias was keeping the pressure on, not letting him extend.
Now Lavarias is in a simple pass position. There's a whole space theory in mixed martial arts. If you're the guy on top, you really want to control the space. And every time Lavarias postures up, he gives away stuff to Chapman.
Now Chapman searching for the triangle on the opposite side.
It's pretty decent, actually. Lavarias has to be careful of his choice of defense here, because it could possibly get tighter for him like it is right now. He needs to choose a side and start spinning rather than staying centered. You know, the pressure that he's doing is great. Chapman could possibly finish the fight if he takes two hands and pulls down the head. He's so enamored by that leg that he keeps going after the leg, when he should really be two hands pulling down the head.
20 seconds remain.
Like what he's doing now. Now you can finish the fight. You don't need the arm across the face.
Can DC put the pressure here on Lavarias in the waning seconds of round number 2?
He needs to focus on pulling the head down and hips up, because that is tight.
Derion Chapman showing off that defensive jiu-jitsu that turns into offensive jiu-jitsu. This fight is going exactly as we thought it was going to be. AJ Lavarias pressuring, staying tight. DC showing flashes of brilliance.
Yeah, now it's in DC's. Everything's built for DC to possibly win this fight right now. More based on you know, Lavarias, his game is wrestling, and he had to fight out of a couple submissions. You can see him here taking deep breaths. I'm not saying Lavarias isn't going to win, but Chapman, if he ever pictured a 3-round fight, this is probably what he envisioned is having him fighting out of submission, and then you're going to get a third chance to be standing on the feet with Lavarias. So he has to make the best of the 20 to 30 seconds that he's going to be standing, because he's going to get taken down. It's like inevitable the way these guys are, but he has to land the best shots and make sure when he gets taken down that he ends up in a good position, that he can still be offensive from his back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This is our third and final round for the U of MMA Lightweight Championship title.
180 seconds remain to decide who will remain undefeated and be the University of Mixed Martial Arts Lightweight Champion when the sun rises tomorrow.
If I'm Chapman's corner, I'm telling him uppercuts. I'm telling him stuff that hurts the takedown opportunity.
DC
be careful with the kicks. Be careful coming in too hard like that.
DC coming in hard and fast. AJ goes under. Nice knee to the sternum from DC.
He just has to make sure he ends up in a good position when the fight does hit the ground.
DC so far staying on top, and AJ relentless.
Now he has the opportunity to control where he gets on the ground. He has the same chance to get the back again. Good defense, so straight up wrestling cross-face defense is going to extend.
DC almost turned that into a choke.
He needs to keep that hand, keep fighting that hand and circle away. He let Lavarias readjust.
Lavarias fighting for that takedown with the takedown defense of Chapman holding up for now.
Definitely holding up. He's doing a good job of making Lavarias really work for the takedown, making him earn the takedown.
Elbows to the side of Lavarias here from Chapman.
If I'm the referee, I maybe separate them. We're spending about a minute against the cage, and I haven't seen a takedown finish.
And just as you speak, AJ Lavarias with a big slam.
I think the ref was thinking the same thing. And a beautiful transition to the back. He over-rotated and went too far to the left, and he might not be able to take the back now.
Big knee to the body there from Chapman.
But now he's in the offensive position. If I was him, I'd be snaking my left leg in and thinking hooks. Make sure that if the fight does hit the ground that I'm taking his back and then I'm attached to him.
Approaching 1 minute remaining here in the third and final round of this U of MMA Lightweight Championship fight.
Now he's got to try to get that other hook in. Sprawl out. No, Lavarias needs to do something to get himself a good position.
Lavarias looking tired. Couple of big knees there from Chapman. Now Chapman going for that same choke from the first round.
Now that is tight. It's a trapped on rear naked. This is exactly what BJ Penn did to Jens Pulver.
Can Chapman finish this choke and become the new
to squeeze.
U of MMA lightweight champion? Lavarias so far defending. Chapman, though,
he's
really
got the
working.
right amount of time to finish this.
30 seconds left. Lavarias trying to fight off that hand. Chapman transitions. Big punches from Chapman.
He is unloading on him.
This is a championship fight here. Derion Chapman putting it on Lavarias here in the final seconds.
What a fight.
That was 9 minutes of top-level amateur lightweight action.
You see Chapman getting his first decision, win or loss, but he showed that he can go 3 rounds. What a fantastic fight.
Not just 3 rounds, but 3 3-minute rounds. Much closer to that pro level as opposed to the 2-minute rounds we're used to here.
It's almost like doing 4.5 of the other rounds.
Man, I am glad that I'm not scoring this fight. Really tough.
I'm not glad.
You want to score this one? Yeah, let's get you in there.
I kind of do. I'm overly qualified. I'm definitely more qualified than all of these guys. I could do all 3 of them. I'll do all 3 cards, and I'll give some split decisions. Like, you know, part of me will think one person, two other parts of me will think another.
So again, we get back to that very tough discussion. Is the controlling wrestling of Lavarias enough to win this fight? Or was Derion Chapman's offensive capabilities enough to sway the judges his way?
By the scoring that is in place now, Chapman should win. Based off of submission and then striking. Those are the two factors that, you know, I think attribute.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the U of MMA returns to Club Nokia on March 30th. Tickets are on sale now.
But as I was saying, you judge those things rather evenly, and then the last two rounds, Lavarias wrestling wasn't where it was in the first round. I think Chapman had a good game plan of getting him tired, not letting him pressure him. You know, we could have a new champion, but I could see it go both ways. I just see the way Chapman ended the fight is probably the deciding factor for me. You know, he was looking for a finish. Like, we need the doctor type of finish.
Well, we said before, Derion Chapman is a finisher. He went after it in this fight, and that activity just might be the thing that ekes out the victory and gets him the U of MMA belt.
Yeah, we will see. Great fight. One of the better ones we've had in our short history of U of MMA.
Well, that was a championship fight that lived up to its championship billing.
For once, Jesus. No, I'm kidding, other fighters. You guys do great as well.
One fighter will stay undefeated. Will Derion Chapman move to 5 wins and no losses with the hardware on his waist, or will AJ Lavarias move his fight streak to 4 wins and maintain the belt? We'll find out here in moments. Let's go into the cage for our official decision with Salvador Arellano.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together for these two warriors. After 3 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges score the fight the same, 29-28. All in favor for the winner by unanimous decision. And new University of Mixed Martial Arts lightweight champion, the Thriller, Derion DC Chapman.
Here with your new lightweight champion, DC. Congratulations, how you feeling, champ?
Hey, words can't even describe it, man. Words can't describe how this feels right now, I'll tell you that. Not at all. I've been working for a long time for this. Unfortunately, last time AJ wasn't able to fight because he had an injured knee, but I see what I do as a champion, man. Pushed me all 3 rounds, couldn't finish him. Usually I get finishes. Thank you guys all for coming out and watching this fight, man.
You got a lot of people that came to show you love tonight. You want to give them a shout out?
I want to thank everybody that, can I hold this for a second? You sure?
Jake says I can't give the mic to the fighters. I'm sorry.
Please. Can I hold it, Jay? Can I hold this? Can I hold the mic? Thank you so much. All right. Now we can do this. Really quickly, I want to start back. First and foremost, I want to thank my mom and my dad. Like always, man, Mama, thank you for always. She's right there in the crowd. Mama, thank you for letting me stay in your house. Man, until I don't know how long, man. And it took me a while to get back on my feet. I want to thank all my homeboys and homegirls that came from Reseda High School. I want to thank House of Champions, Sensei Mark, Sensei Rick, my teammates, Juan, Caesar, man. Thank everybody. I want to thank Diallo Frazier. Thanks Lorenz Tate and his brother Mario Tate for coming out here tonight, man. If I don't know, that's Dead President's Love Jones right there all day. All right? Thank you again, man. J-Tan for believing in me. Turi, thank you for believing in me. U of MMA, all of you guys, thanks for believing in me. If I left anybody out, I'm so sorry, but thank you guys so much, man. I worked hard for this.
Congratulations. Give it up for him, your champion, Derion DC Chapman.
There you have it, folks. Your new University of Mixed Martial Arts lightweight champion. From House of Champions, they're building the full one, Derion DC Chapman.
Thank you for watching, guys, and I'm Andrew Montanez, Rich Slayton here. We'll see you next time.